house in this now. I'm back, and I'm single. And I'm 40. What? What happened? Oh my God, okay. Now look, just people of Apollo, can you please give me a shout if you are single? Nice, I can see you. I'll talk to you soon. Now, single people, please make a noise that indicates your level of enthusiasm about being single. Okay, so what you're telling me is you're all 20, basically, right? Those are the only people who shout at being single. 20-year-olds, they're super excited. You're all excited because you think that sex is gonna get better, and you're gonna get better at it, all right? You're not. I'm the Terminator. I've come to kill your dreams, all right? I'm sorry. It's not gonna get any better. Anyway, here I am. I'm single, ready to mingle, and I don't know if all the single people who screamed earlier, if any of you guys are like me, have you ever had sex with someone just to get rid of them? Yes, thank you. Confirmation, thank you. I don't feel so weird now. No, honestly, it's just the best way sometimes. You're like, okay, look, you got what you came for, now bugger off. Do you know what I mean? So terrible, but I think part of it is the way that we date these days because it's always on apps. And so the problem is all of that getting to know you stuff that you would normally spend the first 4 or 5 dates on, all that stuff is blown on WhatsApp in the first week before you ever even meet that person, right? So you have nothing to talk about. You may as well do it. And like, when you have those conversations, that's all that date stuff, right? You're finding about his hopes and dreams. He's learning about your background. And then there's always that one night where the texting goes a little too late into the night and it starts to get a little seedy and all of his emojis change from the neutral yellow ones to the turgid purple ones. You know, it's all devil horns and aubergine, and you're like, okay, well, you know, like, obviously this is gonna end in wanking, because, like, he's definitely having a wank right now, and I'm gonna have one, because, goddammit, I'm a feminist, all right? So tit for tat, okay? So then you virtually just had sex with this person, basically, right? So like the next day is when reality sets in, because that's when you start to notice all the things you were ignoring before. You're just like, I could swear to God he knew how to spell your yesterday, but he's done it wrong like 3 separate times. Like, I can't have sex with a dumbass. Like, that's not a trait I want to pass on to my imaginary children I'm never gonna have. Come on, like, I don't know if stupid is contagious. It might be the worst STD out there. It's just stupid. Like, maybe this guy will literally fuck my brains out. That's not something I can go for. So like, now I'm like, I just gotta meet him really, really fast and get this over with. So I've been on like 5 Bumble dates in the past 3 months, and they've all gone pretty much the same, right? So I'll show up to the agreed upon pub 15 minutes late, because I read that listicle that was like, make him wait for it, girl. You do you know, whatever, right? Put on a full face of makeup and then took half of it off so I didn't look desperate, right? So I get there, 3 levels of pub. This guy is nowhere to be found. I even checked the toilets. He is not here, okay? And then I get a text 20 minutes after that saying, oh, sorry, the district line's acting up. I'll be there as soon as possible. And I'm like, likely story, asshole. I'm checking TFL, right? So like, I can't start eating because that's what we're gonna do. So I just have to go to the bar and get myself an extra large glass of red wine so that by the time he shows up, I'm rip shit drunk, ready to meet my future husband. I got my dress tucked into my panties. Let's do this, all right? You know, my teeth are all purple like I just filleted a Ribena berry and shit. I'm like, you know, just ready for this. And so, you know, he saunters in, he's like, oh, let me buy the next round, I'm so sorry. And then that gives him permission to like monologue for 20 minutes about himself, right? And then after he's talked forever and ever, he'll like throw me this bone. He'll be like, so, what are you into? Did the last week not just happen, asshole? Like, read the dossier, okay? I worked on that profile for an hour, okay? 4 hours, all right? I had a friend check my work, okay? We have been over this, all right? We both read Vonnegut. We're both in Ravenclaw, all right? I'm from LA, you're from Northampton. Go, I'm gonna die soon, come on. Just get so amped up about this, and I'm like, Desiree, take it down a notch. There is a reason you shaved and came out tonight, all right? This one might be the one, so just chill it a bit, right? So, you know, I'm sitting there and talking to him a little bit more, and the more he tells me about his passions and his goals, the more and more I can start to see the future wedding photo take shape. And I am not in it. Standing next to this guy wearing a 500-pound hairdo that's essentially a bun with some garden foliage in it. And I definitely don't want to have to go to any awkward family events where I have to pretend that his nan isn't being casually racist. Every time she refers to me as Condoleezza, because she can never remember my name. She just knows it's exotic. And I'm like, Nan, that bitch is from 20 years ago. Could you update your racism, please, Nan? Get Lizzo here. Come on, help me out, right? Thank you, right? And I certainly do not want to have to wake up early on one of my Saturday mornings to hold up a hand-painted sign for the 5K this asshole decided he needed to run for, muscular dystrophy or something, just so that a bunch of poor kids who can barely get a spoon to their mouths have to figure out how to high-five him for a photo? Did you work out your ego on someone else? These kids could have been horseback riding all day. You've ruined everyone's Saturday here, so you could essentially run around a Tesco extra car park, all right? Just saying 5K is not that much, all right? I know, because I can do it, okay? Like in an hour, but I can still do this shit, all right? And I just have to put out there, for the single guys who cheered earlier, if you're on any of the apps, and any one of your 5 profile photos, which is the correct number, if any one of them features a photo of you with a number on your chest from having run in a race, I would rather see a swastika, a pentagram, an ISIS flag. Like, there's so many better conversation starters than that number, all right? I know what you're trying to say. You're like, I'm fit, but I care about people. All right, you could have done that without advertising it, you dick. You know what I mean? Like, what I want to see is a picture of a guy who's too unhealthy to get up off of a couch, just looking frightened and cowering while I'm screaming at him, because that is what our relationship is going to mostly be, all right? I need to see you in positions that make any sense. Yes. And okay, here's the thing that I'm getting now that I've turned 40, because my dating bracket has kind of shifted up. It shifted to like the 35 to 55-year-old bracket that nobody markets shit to anymore. They're like, if you don't have kids, we have no idea what to do with you. Just die soon. And I'm like, cool, that's fine. I'm happy to date in obscurity. That's fine. But I keep seeing these things on these guys who are in their 50s profiles. Because, okay, so you know how on there are all these blanket questions. It's always like, you've got your height and your sign and like, what kind of relationship you want. And there's always a question about kids. And there are all these options to check, right? It's have kids, want more. Have kids, don't want any more. Don't want kids. And then there's just this one that says, someday. And all these 50-year-old guys are checking someday. Someday? Someday was 1999 for you assholes. Someday? Someday. What do you mean someday? What are we gonna do? We're gonna date for a year and then you miraculously get me pregnant and then we can have our kid's graduation party at your wake? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Just irresponsible someday. But like, I guess I'm just jealous because men, you get to have someday. You can put off all of your dreams until someday if you want. You can have kids until the day before the day you die if you want to, all right? You can be 91 years old, sitting on a park bench with that perma boner you have from that heart medication you definitely need to take. And then like some 16-year-old skater girl can biff her ollie off the guardrail, land on your erect penis, and 9 months later, baby Tony Hawk is skating out of her. I'm 40. Like, I spent all of my 20s and 30s spending a lot of time and a lot of money trying not to accidentally have a kid. And now, I couldn't accidentally have a kid if I really applied myself. All right? Like, the only way I'm gonna accidentally have a kid at this point is if I'm just like walking down the pavement, right, and there's a mom walking against me, and she's one of those moms with like 4 or 5 of those little free-range kids running around her, the cage-free organic ones that have no sense of spatial awareness. They're just like, oh, okay. She's like, I don't want to rein them in, right? And if one of those kids just runs so hard into my crotch that it gets sucked up there like a moon cup, right? Like, at that point, I could be, well, ma'am, I think you'll find that possession is 9/10 of the law, honestly. This one's covered in my DNA. I don't know what you're gonna do. And she'd be like, fine, I couldn't handle all 5, you take that one. That's how I accidentally have a kid, right? The thing is, I never wanted kids, right? I chose a career and dreams over kids. I know I did that, but it doesn't matter what you choose when you are in a female body with hormones, because if you're a woman over 30, basically your body just turns into that last minute in a round of Super Mario Brothers. You know, when the music just speeds up and you're just like, dun, 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 dun. I need to get 2.5 children and a mortgage, and I gotta collect mushrooms for some reason. Right? You just start running toward things that make no sense for you, but you speed in that direction. And I feel so bad even saying that because I have friends who are younger than I am who are trying for kids. They are trying so hard. And you know that because they walk into every room like, Trevor and I are still trying for a baby. We're trying. We're still trying. Trevor and I are trying. And I'm like, yeah, you really, really are right now trying. You're very trying. And like, it's not just that they're announcing that they're boning to a room full of casual acquaintances who are trying to enjoy their hummus, right? It's that they're announcing how they're boning, right? Because like, this is not recreational boinking we're talking about, like just fun times on the weekends. This is business hate fucking that is going on. 3 days a month in 5-minute windows in the middle of the afternoon exclusively, right? And their dirty talk has just been reduced to, all right, Trevor, you better come in the next 3.5 minutes, all right? And don't try any funny stuff because you're gonna put your back out and I need your help with the handstand afterward. I love you too. So intense, right? And they're trying all the right stuff. Like they've changed their diets, you know, they're doing prenatal yoga and taking vitamins. And in the back of my head, I'm kind of like, is that really the stuff that gets people pregnant? Like, have you tried going on a 3-day Coke bender that ends in the backseat of someone else's car? I worked for 2 of my friends in high school, actually. Oh, I know. Have you tried the thing where you wrap his dick in cling film instead of using a condom? Because that will definitely get you pregnant. Have you tried having sex with somebody else? Because that usually works. I'm just saying, if we're trying, let's exhaust our options, all right? Come on. And honestly, it is probably a very good thing, as you guys can hear from my life and my point of view, that I do not have children, okay? Especially because I don't understand what any of them are saying or doing right now anymore. Like, I'm completely confused. So I was in an Uber about a month ago, right? I'm not proud, I'm just cheap and lazy, okay? So I was in this Uber, and you know how the Uber driver always wants to get his 5-star rating, so he's offering you all the water in the universe and every hard candy and every charger you could possibly want, right? And so, like, you know, and then he does the thing, he's like, oh, what radio station do you want to listen to? And you're like, honestly, I just prefer silence or that radio station where you talk to your wife on the phone in a language I don't understand, you know? And hopefully you'll get into a fight so you drive faster, you know? Like, that's the station I want, but you can't say that, right? But this guy, as he was asking me, what station do you want? He looked at me in the rearview mirror and just turned it to a hip-hop station. Right? He just put it on racial profiling FM or whatever the heck it was. Right? He was like, I know what you want, right? And I was like, okay, fine, hip hop, I don't mind it, it's great, right? And so there was this rap song on, and I think it was trap, because I think that's the iteration of rap that we're on now. It's a lot of like synth and like fast beats and stuff. And so I was listening to the song, and I realized that like it took me most of the song to even understand what was being talked about. Like, and I know I heard this refrain because it was part of the chorus, so I heard it at least twice. I don't know if you guys heard this, all right? But the song goes, throw your pussy through the roof. Has anybody else heard this song? Okay, can we all at least agree that we all live in a world where this song probably does exist? Okay, thank you very much, all right? Because I'm certain that I heard this. And all I could think, I was just confused. Like, I was like, what? Like, what? I understand what it's like to be a woman in a club and just be like, you know what, boys, you want it? You want it? Go get it. Go fetch. Go. And just run in the other direction. Just like, I get that kind of frustration, but I couldn't understand why someone would put that in a song. And then I was like, oh shit, it's a dance anthem, right? He's saying that he wants the women to twerk so hard that their vulvas dislodge and go through the ceiling of the building, and finally more than one woman gets into space at the same time. It's actually quite a progressive song. When I figured that out, I was like, these young people know nothing about home ownership, all right? You definitely don't want a pussy on a roof. I mean, the dam's gonna set in, that's tens and thousands of pounds in repairs. Come on. If anything, throw it into the conservatory. The orchids will love it, right? And then I was kind of like, you know what? Like, I bet that this is somebody's jam. Like, I bet that there are like women in the club like, pussy through the goof, and they run out to the dance floor, right? And like, oh, look, I don't want to yuck anybody's yums. If that's your jam, great. I'm not mad at it. I just hope, for the sake of equality and parity, that there are female trap stars out there writing equally awesome dance anthems like, smack your dick right out the door! You know, when a man is being such a gentleman, he just swipes his own schlong right off to let you walk in front of him. Or like, tuck your balls between your cheeks. When he's so busy not grinding on you at the club that he just makes a nice accommodating fruit bowl for everybody else in it, you know? Grow some titties of your own! Because see, that one, as men age, they tend to take on more estrogen and become a little bit more calmer and listen better to your stuff. I'm just saying. All right. I'll bring out your first act in a minute, but I wanted to tell you this because, as I'm saying, I am dating a lot of older guys, but I also realize, as much as I say that I am 40, I know I don't look 40, right? So I get a lot of guys who are talking to me who are like 27, 28, and I can't get over the fact that, like, when I was 18, you were 6. Like, I can't do that. It's so weird, right? But he's talking, he's like stepping up to me, and I'm like, I don't even get how this works. Like, if we hook up, do I have to drop you off at school tomorrow? Like, how does this work, right? So I'll get talked to by guys who are like younger, and I think that a lot of you don't realize how much some of us women mean business, okay? So here's what I need you to do. Like, men in your 20s, if you are ever in a position of talking to a woman who appears to be at least 30 years old, okay, and you are not available, all right, you got a wife, a partner, a girlfriend, a fiance, whatever it is you have, you are not available, you need to let us know, all right? In the first 5 minutes, you gotta bring that bitch up, all right? Just be like, my wife has a face as well. Like, whatever it is, just find a reason to bring her up, because yes, you will see the light of hope die in our eyes, but at least we'll know these are not the droids you're looking for, and we can move on, okay? Because we are not looking for friends, we're looking for partners. We are like sharks, we are on the move, all right? I was at a cast party for a show I was not in about a month ago, right? Because, like, basically, my friend had done this show, and she invited me to the party, and I was like, great, because I don't know any of these guys, but they're all coming down off of the high of finishing what they've done, and they're all gonna be depressed, and I'm gonna catch some sad dicks in my basket, yeah. I'm gonna get all these sad, crying dicks, yes, right? It's a perfect place to pick up new people, right? So I go to this cast party, and I'm talking to the sound guy, right, for the show. And I love sound guys. I depend on sound guys, but I love tech guys because they just get business done and don't make a fuss about it. They're like, yeah, you're welcome, bye. Like, I love that, right? So I was talking to the sound guy, right? And he was like cute and geeky. And I talked to this guy for 45 minutes about the video game The Legend of Zelda. Yeah, I held my own in that nerd-ass conversation for 45 minutes. I stumbled all the way down memory lane with this guy. And I was pretty proud of myself. 45 minutes of this talk, and I'm like, you know what? I think we're vibing. Like, I'm gonna get his number. He's so cute, he's so funny. 45 minutes into this conversation, this guy goes, yeah, my wife always loved that game. And I was like, God damn it! Your wife? I have ovulated in the middle of this conversation. Your wife owes me an egg. Go run and tell that bitch that. She owes me an egg, right? She'll be mad at your ass too when she comes. She's like, why did you tell her that? Now I gotta give this bitch an egg. Come on.